Hello everyone, I am PlotXplorer. Today I will tell you a story about a major diamond robbery. It happened one morning in February 2003. The security guard of the Antwerp Diamond Trading Center in Belgium was preparing to open the door of the underground vault as usual. When he opened the door after that, I was immediately frightened by the scene in front of me. Almost all the safes were opened and rummaged out. The ground was even more messy, so I immediately called the police. The amount involved in the case was very high, including a large amount of diamonds, gold, jewelry, etc. with a total value of more than $100 million. It is one of the largest robberies in history and is known as the heist of the century. This case took place in Antwerp, the second largest city in Belgium. This place has a lot of diamonds, 80% of which are unpolished in the world. Rough diamonds will be sent here and then processed, appraised, and traded before being distributed around the world. Therefore, it is known as the diamond capital of the world. If you want to find good diamonds, you can go to Antwerp. The Antwerp Diamond Trading Center has a two-story underground vault. Inside are safes rented to different customers. Many merchants often store diamonds and other priceless items here. Of course, the security measures of such a world-class vault are quite strict. If you want to enter, you have to go through 10 layers of security measures. The entire vault is made of concrete. It is equipped with light sensors, heat sensors, motion sensors, various monitors, etc. The gate of the underground vault weighs 3 tons. Looking at a door, there are 6 layers of security measures. There is a combination wheel that requires the correct input of 4 zeros. It can only be opened with the number 99, which means that the password can have 100 million combinations. This door can withstand continuous drilling for 12 hours. There is a sensor on the door that will immediately sound an alarm once it detects a vibration. Once you enter the vault, you can see the safe. Safes are made of steel and copper, and each safe requires both a key and a password to open. With such a level of security, not even a human, not even an ant, can get in. The protagonist of the story is named Leonardo No. Tabatolo also has a dark history. He started stealing when he was 6 years old. He opened the shopkeeper's drawer while he was sleeping and took $8 home. He was then beaten severely by his mother. Since then, he has been obsessed with the pleasure of stealing. He stole money from teachers, stole cars, and learned to pick locks. He became more courageous every time. When he was 30 years old, he even learned to form his own group of thieves. Because of Noda's amazing talent for stealing, he was discovered by a Jewish businessman. He located Noda. Ta was willing to pay 100,000 euros to Noda, so he wanted to ask him a question: can the underground vault of the Diamond Center be stolen? Of course, Noda knew that it would be harder than climbing to the sky, because he rented a safe there himself, but for the sake of money Noda still agreed to the Jewish businessman to take some photos of the inside to show him. I thought the matter would be over. Unexpectedly, 5 months later, the Jewish businessman found Noda again and introduced him to 3 partners. All 3 of them had their own differences. Among the specialties, the genius is good at disarming various alarms, the monster is good at picking locks, electric bows and driving, and the king of keys is good at forging various keys. The Jewish businessman wanted them to go together to commit the theft of the underground vault. Under the temptation, Noda agreed, and he brought his invention with him. There are a total of 5 people in Little Lightning to form the world's top theft team. They made a lot of preparations before the official operation. Noda went in and out of the underground warehouse he rented more frequently to take more photos and bring them back for everyone's research. Noda used his ID to come to the door of the vault and installed a miniature camera directly above the password lock of the vault. Sure enough, he photographed the password entered by the security guard and was not discovered. Noda's team continued to practice simulations based on the photos and tried to unlock various safety devices. They found that if you spray a layer of hairspray on the thermal sensor, you can effectively reduce the sensitivity of the thermal sensor. They developed this type of sensor to prevent accidental explosions, so if you want to trigger the alarm, you must detect heat sources and motion at the same time. They mastered this feature. They found that as long as they used hairspray to block the heat source, they could avoid triggering the alarm. Similar to this, they also did a lot of experiments and preparation. After 2 years, they had the ability to crack all the security protection measures of the underground vault. On February 15, 2003, one day, the Noda team started to take action. This day happened to be the tennis star Venus Williams playing a match locally. The whole city was paying attention to the match. This was the time when the security of the Diamond Trading Center was the most relaxed. It was a very good time for their careful planning. October 10th, the 5 of them drove a rented car and entered the private garden of Jinglan Diamond Center through a preset route and perfectly evaded all surveillance. Then 4 of them used ladders to successfully climb into the Diamond Center without triggering any alarm, entered the underground vault without anyone noticing. 4 people opened a total of 109 safes and took away the 109 purses inside. Took them a full hour to move the 109 purses out of the vault. It was 5:30 in the morning. They were about to retreat. Before leaving, they didn't forget to sneak into the surveillance room and steal the surveillance video of that night. Half an hour later, the 5 people returned to Noda's apartment. When they opened their bags, they found that many bags were empty but had something in them. The double team may only be worth more than $20 million. They suddenly realized that they were just pawns. The real boss behind the scenes was the Jewish businessman. He just wanted the Noda team to steal everything and then pretend that the inventory was inside and lie about it. In fact, they had already transferred it in advance so that they could get a huge amount of insurance money without any losses. It turned out that the real purpose was to defraud insurance. However, there was no time to worry about the matter now, so they decided to evacuate separately and agreed to meet Novo in a small town outside Milan. Ta and Lightning set out to drive together. Along the way, Lightning kept looking out of the car and trembling with fear. On the side of the highway they found a small road. This small road was very hidden and difficult to be found, so they got out of the car and prepared to take some of their belongings. Come out and burn it to avoid leaving evidence. However, because Lightning was so nervous, he accidentally scattered all the things in his hands on the ground, including dozens of diamonds. It would take a few dollars to clean up these rubbish and diamonds. At this time, they seemed to hear the sound of someone coming, so they didn't care so much and immediately got in the car and fled. They didn't have time to burn the garbage. They thought the place was deserted. Even if it was discovered, it would be just a pile of garbage and there would be no one. I didn't expect that it was precisely because of the garbage left behind that it became the most important clue for the police. The place where the garbage was scattered belonged to a 59-year-old Belgian grocer. Because it was close to the highway, there would often be some garbage floating over, which would disturb this old man. He was very angry, so he often called the police. At this time, he saw a pile of garbage on the ground and thought it was the litterers again. So he was very angry and called the police again. The police were already used to it and just dealt with it casually. Then the old man said, "Here there is a letter that says something, Diamond Center. Please help me catch the person who littered the garbage." When the police heard this, their eyes immediately lit up. Soon the police and detectives all arrived at the scene. Sure enough, they found an invoice for the purchase of the surveillance system in the garbage. It was Noda who also found some wine bottles and half-eaten sausage sandwiches. So the police searched Noda's apartment and found some new clues, which implicated some of his partner. Thanks to the clues, the case was solved very quickly. Kwai Tiankai and Monster were sentenced heavily for leaving DNA evidence in the vault. Noda did not enter the vault but had been waiting outside. The police could not find direct evidence of his involvement in the vault case and Noda never admitted to participating in the crime. In the end he was sentenced to 10 years only based on circumstantial evidence. One of the team members, the King of Keys, still disappeared and is nowhere to be found. If he hadn't panicked and scattered the garbage on the ground and survived for a while, then maybe this was a perfect crime. Thanks for watching.